like my dad told me a long time ago when I first started doing this, he was like, if you control what you eat, you control anything else in your life.
I guess the one question that I forgot to say earlier, we'll say right now, and I think a lot of people want to know is when you're training for a fight, the biggest challenge is the weigh-in, from what I've been told. And cutting down your weight, maybe 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 2 pounds, maybe gaining weight. It seems unhealthy. I know models and people out there have to lose weight for shoots, but this is different. You have 3 days to lose a certain amount of pounds or gain a certain amount of pounds, or you get disqualified. What is that like? I mean, starving yourself or sauna. I want to know. I think a lot of people want to know. Do you enjoy it? It doesn't seem like it's fun. Why did they do that? Like, what is with this weigh-in and killing your guys' selves? I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's man. Okay, first of all, I do not enjoy it. Just getting that out there. But yeah, I mean, I probably would say it was one of the harder things about the sport. Like my dad told me a long time ago when I first started doing this, he was like, if you control what you eat, you control anything else in your life. And I believe that to be true. Like controlling what you actually put into your body and disciplining that area of your life is very difficult. And yeah, so right now I fight at 160 pounds, and I probably walk around at 176 pounds right now. Usually, so I've been heavier. I've been up to like 190 and stuff before.
Is it easy to cut out weight? Like, what do you do?
So basically, in a training camp, it's usually 6 to 8 weeks, right? So essentially almost 2 months. You start off by eating clean. And you're running so much. In boxing, like you said, like we talked about before, it's a huge endurance sport, so you're burning a lot of calories and whatnot. But
you're not putting as many calories in as what your
first
start is.
You basically start just eating clean. You cut out all of the shit food. Like you're not eating chips and stuff like that. I mean, like I have some guilty pleasures, bro. Like candy, dude, it will end my life. But like, you basically cut out a lot of that stuff. So you're eating like clean foods, and from that point, like maybe after a week or so of like the cardio and all that stuff, like you check your weight again. And usually, like if you cut out gluten and like a lot of sugars and you're detoxing your body naturally, you'll lose like a good amount of weight. Just like you kind of get to this baseline weight where your body is like healthy, doesn't have extra like stuff it's holding inside, like bloating, any kind of water weights, it's like that kind of stuff, and like salts, extra stuff. And you kind of just hit this like certain weight, and mine's usually around like 172 to 174 ish, kind of floats around that range. Then from there, it's like, okay, well, then you're going to make your portion smaller, based on like how much you're training and stuff like that. You continue eating clean, but your portions are going to get smaller. Clean foods like broccoli, rice, asparagus, grass-fed, chicken, red meat once or twice a week, salmon, like healthy fats,
avocado.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Your body needs fats. It needs like garlics, like onions, and that kind of stuff. So again, sorts of like small portions and that kind of stuff, and then maybe like as the fight gets closer, you keep making it smaller, and then eventually you hit this point where it's like you're not eating much, but you have to eat in order to train. So it's like you have to, or otherwise you're not gonna have energy.
You just collapse.
Yeah, you're gonna collapse.
No energy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, your body's just running off fumes from that point, and then at that point, like that's usually, I don't know. I usually probably sit around like 6 pounds about 3 days before the fight. But at that point, I'm I'm fucking shredded, dude.
Right.
Like, like you have no fat on your body. You're in shape. You're like, oh, like I'm like 6 pounds over still. Then the water comes in,
and that's like, where the saunas and the dehydration part of
So,
what is it? So you do weigh in. What is it? The day before or 2 days before?
Day before.
I've been told you basically cut all the water weight out of you, or unless you're hitting the weight right out of the bat. But once you weigh in, it is hydration.
Yeah.
And what happens once you weigh in at the weight?
Oh, man.
What do you guys eat? Is it just throw everything into your body and get all the energy you can?
Heck no. So there's actually I used to do that in the amateurs and stuff like that, because I obviously didn't have like the nutrition coach and like that kind of knowledge. Basically, there's a certain like strategy into getting water back into your body. You can't just chug water bottles.
Eat watermelon.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You need basic moistures and like basic sugars and electrolytes that are like your body needs. It's almost like jump starting your car again. You know what I'm saying? And you're kind of like you're sipping on water. eventually after a bottle of of sipping, an hour goes by, then you can start your lips aren't chapped as much anymore.
Right.
Your skin's not as dry. You're like, okay, I'm finally getting stuff back into me. But yeah, I usually stay away from no gluten, no fat. Usually, because I mean, at that point you haven't eaten for so long, your stomach could react to anything, and the last thing you want to do is like have a stomach ache or something going wrong in the middle of the fight the next
Right.
day.
I've seen guys with like documentaries where they're trying to cut the weight and they're just draining themselves in the saunas and the jacuzzis, and they call it quits like an hour before like the weigh-in because they're dead.
Yeah, people,
Like-
you can't even stand. I've been to that point where I would like, I'll be in the bathroom like on the ground like kneeling. I'm like, dude, I can't. Like I'm in a fog. I can't. I haven't eaten 2 days, and I'm just dying. This is more in the amateurs, not really in the pros.
How
but,
do
like,
you like keep up with
I don't know, man.
all your stuff? Like what, you kill yourself 3 days before, and now next thing you know you rehydrate in a way, and then everything comes back?
Not really. I mean, like that's
Like I feel like you're fighting. It's like a disadvantage. You're training so hard and prepping yourself, and then you kill yourself, and now what? Now you're walking in kind of like at 50%.
yeah, that's a golden question, man. But the other guy's probably doing the same thing. He's trying to make the weight too. Usually.
So you say it's easier to lose it or gain it?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like if you're under the weight, or are you typically over the weight? Is really what it is.
Yeah, you always cut under. So like, but crazy thing is like,
It's never you're like 160, you need to get 170. You're like, oh, cool, I get to eat some food this week.
yeah, I mean, but like you look at guys who fight at like 178 pounds, like that next division up, or 168. Those guys are cutting from like 190, 100 and something pounds. So their body naturally, their frame is so much bigger than yours by 8 pounds. And that's a big difference.
Right.
They're taller, they're bigger, their shoulders are broader. They're stronger than you. And so I don't, you don't want to fight there, unless like you decide to put on muscle and like spend your training camp that way. Some people do it. I wouldn't be opposed to doing it either. At some point in my career, but I like my weight that I'm at. But yeah, so you always go down, but like I weigh in like 160, 159.9, like flat, and then I'll just be like I get 24 hours, and by the time the fight comes around, usually the next day, I'm around like 172 pounds, 173
crazy.
pounds again. So I'll put 13 water weight and food, like 13 pounds, to 12 pounds, like
That's crazy.
overnight. Yeah.